Hello and welcome to Ticket Manager's All Access interview series, engaging leaders from across the sports marketing spectrum to identify and explore critical issues in the business of sports, entertainment, hospitality, sponsorship, activation, ticketing, and even more. I'm your host, Jim Andrews. Joining me on this episode to discuss audio platforms in the digital age, where they fit with sports and partnerships, as well as some fundamental sales tips, is Jim McCloud, Executive Vice President, National Partnerships for Audacy, Inc. Welcome, Jim. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Jim. Excited to be
here. My pleasure. So let's just dive in with Audacy, new name, but definitely not a new company. So tell us about Audacy, and if you could describe the role that it plays in kind of our sports marketing ecosystem. I know you've got partnerships, lots of partnerships with both sports properties and brands. So just kind of give us the lay of the land, if you will.
Yeah, so Audacy, we just rebranded the company 8 weeks ago, and Entercom, the previous name of the company, had been around for over 50 years. And over the last 3 years, we've gone through a major transformational change. We acquired CBS Radio a little over 3 years ago, and that's when I joined Audacy from Major League Baseball. The changes that were going on through the organization, through the acquisition, brought a lot of new assets under the portfolio. And over those last 3 years, we've added to that with acquisitions on the podcast side. We've acquired a sports betting subscription product in BetQL. And, we arrived at a place where what our company had become wasn't reflective through the name Entercom anymore. And so we've rebranded the company to Audacy, and we're excited about the name change. We think it truly reflects the Audacy platform, or the audio platform that we represent. And it's, audacious. It's this Audacy journey, and we've become this multi-platform audio leader in and around sports, media, news, music. And so we're super excited about the prospect of where we're going.
And I can tell you that it has a prominent place on my home screen. Your app, listen to lots of news and sports through the app. So yeah, I mentioned just a really large number of partnerships that you have in the sports world. Can you talk a little bit about those, and then what your responsibilities are specifically as EVP of national partnerships?
Yeah, so we have over 40 team relationships across all of our different markets, and it varies from MLB to NFL to NBA. And those team relationships are super important. If you think about the 48 markets that we have within our portfolio of radio assets, these markets truly are the home of a lot of these sports teams from an audio perspective. And so, while we've focused on transforming the company into this national multi-platform audio leader, we'll never lose sight of our roots, which is our ability to provide a local voice. And so while some of our competitors have, national syndicated voices, we lean into those local voices in those markets that truly understand the community, that represent that fandom from that market. And so as a result, we have really deep relationships with these individual sports teams to cover the games, to go deep, to provide a platform and an outlet to reach fans. And, we use that megaphone to distribute that information to fans on a daily basis, providing 24-hour-a-day content 7 days a week.
So that's on the team side. You've basically got those media rights, but then on the brand side, that's where you come in. So tell us a little bit about the brand partnerships.
When I joined from Major League Baseball, I was running corporate partnerships at the league. I had been at MLB for 9 years, and what they tasked me with doing was, subsequently after the acquisition of CBS Radio, we have this national scale. And so how do we take this traditional local radio company from the past and transform it into this national multi-platform audio leader. And so if you think about our setup here with 48 markets all operating independent of one another, it's very similar to 30 clubs that all operate independent of one another. And so with what I was tasked on the MLB.com side and the MLB, running corporate partnerships at the league, it was a very similar model. And so, over the last 3 years, the organization has gone through further change. We've had to implement a lot of process, scale the business, educate the marketplace. To be honest with you, I think sometimes there's a perception that, radio is this medium that brand partners don't value, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Part of my education process was obviously understanding the medium, but from a content perspective and what we're providing our consumers on a daily basis is passion for news, passion for sports, passion for their community. And so when you bring that to the forefront, you educate the marketplace, meaning brands, on what we have to offer and the audience that we reach on a daily basis. It really provides a great outlet for them. And so, we've really focused on hiring, additional people to represent our portfolio of assets. We sell holistically across not only just radio, but, the Audacy app, our podcasts, and we build a multi-platform audio program. And so, we've added a lot of partners to our portfolio, blue chip brands from the Geicos of the world to Bank of America to US Bank to Dell. And we're providing solutions on a daily basis. And whether that's around sports or news or music, we serve them how they want to reach their customers.
Are there any of the particular partnerships you mentioned, a few examples there, but any that really kind of you're particularly proud of, or that illustrate really well what it is that Audacy offers?
There's a lot of different partners that we've brought on board. Specifically, the betting category is one right now that is super hot. We'll be making some announcements here, over the coming weeks about additional programs that we'll be doing in and around sports. But, BetMGM is an important partner of ours. On the NCAA front, Geico is an important partner around their bracket challenge that they do with us. Quicken Loans does an NFL pick'em program. And then, in terms of some of our podcasts, we have Kevin Durant's podcast, JJ Redick. And, this past year we did a Podfriends, which was unique. And, Dell was looking to reach small business owners. And if you think about what small business owners, they're rolling up their sleeves day in and day out to run their business. And so they don't have time to attend a conference. And so while we were planning this prior to COVID, it really came to light in a unique way, because what we did was we built a Podfriends that reached small business owners. So all of our podcasts across, all of our different genres were geared over 1 week during Small Business Week to reach small business owners. And the topics that were discussed included, how they run their business from a podcast perspective. So, JJ Redick was talking about having small business, influencers on his podcast. And we had other small business owners on podcasts. And we had, just the whole scope of our talent speaking to small business, all packaged together in a unique way. And those are the types of programs that we're doing now, where we're promoting it across all of our radio stations. We're having small business owners on our stations in the markets that are from Chicago or from New York or from Dallas, speaking to that local community. And that's really where we shine.
You mentioned the partnership with BetMGM. You also have gotten, Audacy has gotten into that space, acquired QL, and formed something called BetQL. You want to talk about that and how that kind of fits in with everything that you're doing?
Yeah, we acquired BetQL, and it was certainly complementary to our portfolio of assets. You think about our sports stations that we have, and our ability to reach those rabid sports fans on a daily basis with our sports talk content. The other thing too is in terms of our first party data that we have. You think about traditional radio companies, one of the biggest surprises for me was the amount of first party data that we're actually sitting on. And you think about the number of people that call into our radio stations on a regular basis, combine that over 50 years of being in business, and we have a robust database that's super local and as well as national. And so with the acquisition of BetQL, the BetQL is a subscription sports betting product, and our thought was, building that into our ecosystem to reach customers on a daily basis. We thought we could grow that in a major way and help drive, that business forward. So, we're in the early innings, but the early signs are super positive of what we can do with that assets, and we're bringing the BetQL name to light in a more we're bringing it more front and center through our media channels. That's the one thing that we have that a lot of partners or competitors don't have. We have this megaphone that reaches so many different consumers on a daily basis.
Well, and you mentioned that first party data, and that's been constant topic of conversation now over the last few years for a lot of sports organizations. Talk a lot about it on this interview series, and you're right. All the time that I've been involved in this, I always looked at, when working with sports properties, looked at the media companies and said, boy, in general, they're a lot more data driven. So, I think there's a lot that the sports teams and organizations can learn to become more savvy about data by, looking at what media companies have done. And I would imagine there is a real opportunity. I mean, you talk about a powerful combination of the listener data that you have, put that together with ticket buying data, merchandise sales, all of that kind of stuff. In my mind, always looking at it from the sponsor's perspective, is that something that a sponsor can then tap into to say, hey, you guys have all this information, share it with me, and then we can really build some great activation programs together. Is that kind of where you see things going?
Yeah, so our ability to provide data to our customers is huge. And I think sometimes there's a misconception in and around radio and audio that, we don't have that level of data, and we do. And so part of it is an education process to our customer base to provide brands with that level of attribution. And so, now that we've come out with the Audacy brand and rebranded the company, we are very much trying to be a thought leader in this space because, we have a new brand. We have a very exciting story. We have big plans on where we want to go. And so, we're using our megaphone now to really show people and show brands and show consumers we're here and we're here to stay, and where we're going is not considering us that traditional radio company anymore, but rather this multi-platform audio leader. And, by not spending dollars with us, you're missing a huge audience. In regards to, sports and news, there's no one in the audio space that compares to us with our platform. And so, it's a unique value proposition that we bring to the table.
There's also a lot of discussion in our business right now about how do we attract, engage, and keep a younger generation of fans, whether that's among the teams, their media partners. There's been a lot of attention, of course, paid to the video side of things with streaming and providing content in different ways than just a 2 or 3 hour live broadcast of a game or a match. But I'm wondering where audio fits in, or where do you see that fitting into that kind of new with those new generation of fans?
Look, I view things through the lens of people's most valuable asset is their time. And audio lends itself really nicely to people's ability to multitask. And so a lot of people have asked us, has the consumption habits changed during COVID? And while we're seeing people starting to commute again and being in the car, our over the air continues to grow. Our consumption across our Audacy app has skyrocketed, and through connected devices, and people multitask and listen to what they want, when they want it, how they want it. And I think for us, I know we're betting on the future of audio and its place in this world where people's most valuable asset is their time. And so with the acquisitions we've made, the products that we have, and the consumers we reach on a daily basis, we have a huge opportunity. There's never been a more important time for audio than right now. And we see it just with the level of questions that we get from brands on a daily basis, the amount of activity that we're seeing in the marketplace in and around audio, and people are really trying to figure out how do they bring their brand to life through audio in a unique way that's reflective upon their brand, because it hasn't been something they've focused on in the past. And so our holistic audio approach is super important to our success long term. It's not through one lens. It's how do we bring it to life across podcasting, across over the air, across streaming, and what that sounds like across each platform is different.
What you're saying is really, it's an exciting time to be in our business and your business. Sometimes it may be a little bit disconcerting trying to figure out all of the new technologies and figuring out how to communicate and deliver content to new audiences. But like I said, that's also exciting. And there are so many potentials. You talk about betting, you talk about podcasts, and these opportunities that didn't really exist for those of us in sports marketing before. And it's a really, really interesting place to be in a time.
I compare it to the days of MLB.com, the early days, having been in MLB for 9 years, when we were educating the marketplace on digital and how they should be activating across digital. And so there was an education process that took place. And once you built solutions for clients that connected across the entire platform, across digital, across mobile, you were able to bring a brand's partnership to life. And, that required education. And I view what we're doing at Audacy for many brands right now to bring a marketing platform like the Dell Pod Friends to life, or some of these other programs. I don't think they were conceptualized before, and now we are, and we're bringing it to life, and we're building case studies to then bring to the marketplace to educate other clients on, this is what we can do for you, but let's build it for your brands and customize it to your brand and what you're looking to accomplish.
Well, and you use that word educate. And I think that's, a good salesperson is also an educator, or should be. And that kind of leads me to the last question for you before I let you go, because you've had a really successful career as a sales executive with CBS, with Major League Baseball, now Audacy, and I'm always fascinated by folks in sales. It's a skill that I think, I certainly, have never been a great salesperson, but I admire the heck out of people who can do it. And we have a lot of listeners in sales, whether it's ticket sales or biz dev or corporate partnerships. So I just like to leave it with any advice that you have for other sales professionals, particularly those in the sports business.
Yeah, look, my opinion on it is, you want to be solutions oriented. And to keep it simple, people do business with people they like. Obviously, you need to have a product that is compelling, and you need to provide solutions to your clients. But if you approach business the right way, you do it in a fashion that's transparent, you work hard, I don't think you need to complicate it. And so, part of joining Audacy was taking on a challenge of helping a company through a major transformation. And so, for me, having been at MLB for 9 years, it was an amazing experience. I learned from a lot of great people. And, at the end of the day, if you're a good person and you have that drive to help transform and move a business forward, there's nothing you can accomplish. You do it the right way, and you build a playbook that you can then bring to other organizations. And so, you want to be around good people. You want to, my success is solely tied to the team I've assembled here at Audacy. There's a lot of great people, and they're a lot smarter than I am. And the what we're accomplishing, or what we should be accomplishing long term, is to truly make Audacy a household name. And that's something I welcome with open arms. It doesn't mean it's easy. There's some challenges as you work through that, but as you come out on the other side, you build a culture and a team that no one can take away. So it's super exciting time, and I'm excited to be part of the ride.
Well, great, and we certainly wish you the best of luck with that, and look forward to checking back in with you, and seeing how things are going for you and the team there at Audacy. So, Jim, just want to say thank you so much for taking some time today and sharing what's going on there. I know our listeners will appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Thank you. And on behalf of everyone at Ticket Manager, thank all of you for watching, and please join us again for the next episode in our All Access interview series.